Hello to everyone who is watching Riverbun. Thank you very much for having me here, and it's a pleasure to be part of the conference. You're watching Music Market in China presentation prepared by our team here at Kandian Music and me. My name is Jane Polubotko, and I've been in China for the past 8 years, four of which have been with Kandian Music. My role at Kandian is International Marketing Manager. I'm in charge of artist and label services. I will dive a little bit more into Kandian at the end of my talk. And now let's begin Music Market China presentation. Well, the key points that I would like to share with you today is the change and the development within the market during the past year. What are the ways for international artists to make money in China? What are the best platforms for this? And some of the case studies and examples. So to bring you up to date with the dynamics that were happening during the past 15 months in China, I'd like to illustrate my talk with this timeline. In February 2020, we all experienced a full lockdown with pretty much all the public places shut down. However, at the end of May, it was the first public event happening with the ticket sales. It was in Shanghai, and it was a concert that performed original music from Chinese musicals. But that time, the allowed venue capacity was 30%. This number increased to 50% in August and to 75% in September. In fact, the first festival happened in October 2020, and it was a World Music Asia Festival, which took place in multiple locations in China. It was in Shanghai, Wuhan, Foshan, and Chongqing. So as of March 2021, this year, there are no limitations on venue capacity, and we're free to enjoy any live shows here in China. Just a few words on the possibilities for international artists to tour in China. At the moment, there is no streamlined process for international artists to enter the country in tour. Hopefully, the situation will change. Now, let's dive into the digital side of market. Well, before we dive in, just a short note that the data that is presented in the key numbers was actually pulled out from the latest China statistical report on internet development conducted by the government. As you can see, there are 989 million internet users in China, almost 1 billion. This number grew 20% comparing to 2019. In 2019, this number was 825 million. There is a massive internet usage happening through the mobile phones, 99.7%. Actually, the usage of laptops and computers is narrowed down to work and study environments mostly. Communication, entertainment, education, business, payment, sport. There is an app for pretty much every aspect of life. And in many cases, there's music featured in the app, which is a part of the experience. We'll get to that point in a few minutes. Now, there are 927 million people in total that are enjoying videos on demand, online videos, and short videos. The most popular video content is online reality shows and TV dramas. Now, focusing on the short video viewers, there are 94% or 873 million short video viewers. And it's important to know that short video viewers are not coming only from Douyin, Chinese version of TikTok, but it's actually the general number of short video users. And it's interesting that pretty much every mobile app here in China implemented this social element as short video, where users are generated content through short videos. And that could be a music streaming app, travel or sport app, food delivery, online shopping, even weather forecast app. With regards to live streaming, there are 190 million people who are enjoying live music concerts online, And this number grew 64% comparing to 2019. Now let's dive a little bit more into live streaming, as it was quite hot topic, I feel like, last year, and I felt like there were certain expectations around live streaming in China. There were a few pretty good cases of international artists broadcasting their streams in China. For example, Martin Garrix did an online electronic music festival organized by Douyin. Billie Eilish and Dua Lipa broadcasted their shows on TME Live platform. Speaking of international artists, speaking of independent artists and also international, we had a cases with facilitating live stream for Defected Records virtual festival, where Carl Cox and Idris Elba played at that event. It was broadcasted on 2 local platforms, which were Huya and Maoyan. There were no tickets sales. The event was free of charge. Another good example of live streaming that we facilitated was with the American band called AGR. Their concert, One Spectacular Night, was streamed on NetEase and NetEase's own live streaming app called Look. The concert was available through ticket sales. The price per ticket were around 25 RMB, which is around €3. So both of the events received a pretty good support from the platforms with regards to its exposure. There were banners, for example, on NetEase front page, also front page features on all the apps. There were a lot of marketing events happening around the live streaming concerts. For example, for AGR, there was a specific dedicated page with the merch giveaways and so on. Well, based on our experience with the live streaming, we actually recognized that live stream could be a great promotional tool for international artists in China, rather than a streamlined money generating process. And there are a few reasons for that. Local people actually got an opportunity to enjoy offline live shows pretty much around May or June last year. So the live streaming concerts were a little bit less of an interest. And another reason for that is that while watching a live stream, Chinese audience really prefers to interact with the artist or performer through the comments or virtual gifts, and would expect an artist to, you know, keep up the communication and reply and just have the online communication going. And it's not very possible, not only because of the language barrier, but also because at the moment international artists have to submit the pre-recorded video of the live stream prior to the actual stream, and the stream must be approved by the platform in advance. So yeah, that was on the live streaming, and we're moving to the most interesting part. You can see the total number of music listeners in China, which is 658 million, and 70 million of this number, which is 10%, are paying for music. Comparing to 2019, the number of paying subscribers didn't grow much. It was 68 million before. So yeah, we can see that this number doesn't grow that fast. 70 million paying subscribers. To put it into the context, right now, China has a bit more than half of the amount of paid subscribers compared to Spotify. However, this number does not represent the royalty rates that are generated in China. Based on the information that we have here at Kandian, the average rate that a right holder would receive for commercial exploitation of music in China is 0.0008 RMB per stream. Well, the price might change depending on where the actual stream is coming from, whether it's through paid subscription or free subscription, if it's a ad-supported stream, or maybe it's coming from the download. Besides traditional streaming, there is another option for artists to make money in China, and that is digital album sales. This is the total revenue generated by the 10 best sold releases in 2020 across such platforms as QQ, Kugo, Kuo, NetEase, and Migu Music. Releases include albums as well as singles, with the price starting from 3 RMB per single, which is around 40 euro cents, and the price can go up to 18 to 25 RMB per album, which is around 3 euro. The majority of artists in this chart are domestic artists or idols, such as Jay Chou, Wang Yibo, Lei Zhang. And you can see that there are actually some international artists making to the chart: Taylor Swift, Blackpink, Justin Bieber. International artists make 20% of the total revenue. Well, this gap between the revenues from domestic and international artists actually proved the words of NDNG, former VP of DME, that he said that 80% of Chinese listeners prefer to the Chinese catalog. Well, I understand that such a way of making money might not be applicable for every international artist yet. Hence, there are different solutions. While digital sales and streaming platform can be done on a handful of stores, the opportunities might be awaiting on other platforms. Music consumption in China is different from the Western way. I mean, there are streaming platforms like QQ and NetEase, pretty much all the streaming apps you can see on the left side of the screen. However, there are so many non-streaming apps where music is part of the experience, and it might be not the primary activity or not the main reason why the customers would go and use those services. However, music is a very important part of all of the apps, and this is how majority of people interact and discover music here. One of the best examples of such apps that you probably all know is TikTok, or Douyin in China, also Kuaishou, so I'm not going to focus too much on that. The other examples would include sport and fitness personal trainers apps for podcasts and audiobooks, e-commerce user-generated platforms, kids apps, interactive marketing services, and the list can go on. Because it's not a straightforward streaming, the artist or label would have to provide the full set of rights to the platform. For the right holders, this is an opportunity to explore new monetization models and renegotiate business terms, ensuring that they can make the most out of the territory. So you can see that the majority services on which Kandian monetizes in mainland China are actually non-streaming services. The example that we have here is you can see that two apps, Red and Keep, all together are bringing more money than the streaming revenues coming from TME apps. Well, important notice that I want to say is that this is not a rate per use or per stream or anything. This is the monthly average of the total revenue from the services divided by the total catalog delivered to it. Well, I understand that it may look a little bit simple, but this is how the performance of the entire catalog could be improved, and not just the trending tracks or artists. And that was another way of how the right holders can make money in China. And now a few words about Kandian. We are a full stack services music company. We provide licensing solutions, as well as artist and label services, marketing and promotion, business consultancy, and booking. We work with both independent and major label artists. We carry out our in-house projects, and we also organize industry events with a focus on China. We are headquartered in Shanghai with people around China in Beijing, Chengdu, also in Hong Kong and Taiwan. We have an office in Tokyo, and as of recently, we have people in New York as well. Feel free to reach out to us. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I'm very looking forward for any questions that you have, and feel free to reach out to me directly. Thank you very much.